The 6th of December, and I make it a Saturday, 2025. You're welcome back. It's dampish, but a good morning here in rural Ireland. The days are quite short now, so I have to make the best of the daylight. Now, I was asked to make a map of the Ukraine, or Ukraine, whichever you like to call it, and it's online there. You'll get it on Google Docs. There's no proper big map. You can buy a map, but I'm not so way inclined because it'll be gathered in dust like everything else. Now, I don't know, can you see there? I think I'll go this way, but I'll just make a bit of room because I have a table here behind me that for holding stuff, and it's just hard to get squeezed in. But you'll get the general gist of it. Now, it's about 10 times the size of Ireland before the Russian invasion, and this is before the Russian invasion. I might do another map, again, showing the various provinces, or Oblasts as they call them, but this is just to get you the basics. So, it's bordered on the east by Russia, a good deal of it down here. The black line is the boundary, by the east down here to Russia, by Russia. Okay, now, it's then bordered on the north by Belarus, which is a friendly nation to Russia. They're wise enough, they knew not to join NATO, and in NATO they'd be if America got its way, and the British. Then, can you see here, this is Poland, big area down along Poland, and I understand a lot of this was belonging to Poland at one time. Slovakia is in here, and it tends to be a sort of a conservative country, a bit pro-Trump, a bit pro-anti-woke and all that. And this is Hungary, Viktor Orban, and he's the thorn in the side of the EU. This is an EU state. And then you have Romania down here. That's where they cancelled the elections when the people elected the wrong president. They cancelled them. And this is Moldova, this little red bit. Moldova is landlocked. This is the sea here. And Moldova is landlocked, and there's a wee bit of this that the Russians have checkpoints in. The Russians are in there even now. Now, this is the Black Sea. This is the Black Sea here. I didn't draw the Crimea quite too well, but this is the Crimean Peninsula. And this part, there's a little sea here called the Azov Sea that you never hear of it because the mainstream media are too thick. BBC, RT, CNN, they're just densos. They still really have their teddy bears from their children, you know. They wouldn't have a clue. Now, I'm not big into this either till I studied it up. This is Azov. It's a small sea, and it's up here bordered by the Ukraine and Russia. Now, key here is Kerch, the Kerch Bridge. Kerch is a city in Russia, or a town, and there's a new bridge built across here. It's about 12 miles long, and it was attacked a few times between Russia and the Crimean Peninsula. Now, this is the Crimean Peninsula, and this is Sebastopol. Sebastopol has for years and years been a rented property of Russia, where they station their Black Sea fleet. They have a rental thing understanding on that. This was Ukraine up to recently. Now, so the Black Sea is down here. The Sea of Azov is up here. Russia's here. And the rest of it's Ukraine. Ukraine comes down here. This is the city of Odessa. It comes down here a bit. There's not much down here. But this cuts off Moldova from the Black Sea. Romania can get into the Black Sea. Understand? It's not landlocked. But they have arrangements to get in and out. Now we look at the other big feature of Ukraine is the Dnieper River. Comes in here from Belarus, flows right down like this, and out into the Black Sea. Have you that? There's a town called Dnieper on it, but the main town of note is Kiev. Kiev is on the Dnieper River. Okay, have you that? There's a town over here called Lviv. I don't know how that's spelled right, Lviv, but anyway, that's the most westerly big town in Ukraine. That's where the government was going to flee if Russia stormed Kiev. Now, so you have this Lviv must be, I'll just check it though for a minute. Yeah, it's Lviv. Kiev, Odessa. 3 big towns, to the west of the Dnieper River. I've been very careful not to mix up east and west. One wrong word can damage a video. I said September for one about a politician, and it was picked up. So anyway, the Dnieper River is a very important point, and strategically it's really splits the country into two. In fact, if history were different, you could have two different countries each side of it, but you haven't. Up here now is Sumy. It's on the Russian coast, and inside in Russia is Kursk, and that's where the Ukrainian army invaded and took over Kursk. Took over Kursk in Russia. It's actually within the Russia and took over Kursk. They were beaten out of it. So this is Sumy here. There's war there, and this is Kharkiv, which is in extreme east. This is Donetsk. Okay. Now, so you have Sebastopol, which is a Russian port. Now, Putin annexed this. He held a referendum in 2014 and he took this over. Now, this contains people known as Tartars. And Stalin ran them out of it and put them in the Gulag and away off into Russia. Some of them came back. They don't like the Russians, and there's a Tartar on the government of Ukraine, a type of a general, right? Now, he has dreams of taking it back by force. So this was the prime real estate. This was the Dalkey or the Black Rock of Ireland, like good area with sea access and everything. So this was prime real estate, and it was fought over for years. And there was a war. You remember that the Kerry recruit and all them, they were all roughly involved in this. Now, when you come down here to the bottom of the Black Sea, you're into Turkey. And Greece is over here, down here this way. You see here where my hand is here. Right, so we'll not make it too big. We'll not have it too complicated. Okay, so Russia's down here. Now, they have built the Kursk Bridge and annexed or taken over this following a so-called referendum. To say it was fair, I don't know, but they took over this in 2014 or thereabouts. So now the Dnieper River, that's very important to understand. It comes down into the Black Sea. Get to know the Azov Sea, the Sea of Azaz. You see, you learn something here you wouldn't learn anywhere else. Get to understand where Moldova is. You can go back now and look ahead on the maps, and you'll find there's not too many good maps at all. There's no real colour map online there. It's not very good. And you can get it on. And you know that you have Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, Belarus, and Russia. And the Black Sea is down here. Have you that now? So I think that's not too bad. Well, let's see how many minutes I have there. 7 minutes. Now, so I think you have that. It's not too highly populated up here. So this is the angst or the fight is Russia trying to take over areas of the eastern Ukraine, and some would tell us they want to take over the whole lot. Now, I have to be practical, and I'm going to try and show you where some of these contentious locations are. When we just go north of the Crimea here, you have Kherson. Kherson, that's an oblast or a province. Kherson. So that's when you hear of Kherson. It's just to the north of the Crimean Peninsula. Right? You have that. Now, we then move this way, and we have Zaporozhia. Zaporozhia, Zaporizhia. Zaporozhia. It's not practical for me to draw these in. If I do, I'd have to make a separate map. It would damage the readability of it. The next thing is Donetsk. This is the Luhansk, I think is this area. Yeah, it's Donetsk area. It's down here as Donetsk, and the main town is Donetsk. D-O-N-E-T-S-K, Donetsk. Anyway, you know the general area there, and this is Luhansk. Luhansk is up here. And then we have Kharkiv up here. So just to give that to you again now, as best as I can do it. Kharkiv is here. Luhansk is Kharkiv is here. Luhansk is over here. This area protruding into Russia. The next is the Donbas. This must be the Donbas or the Donetsk anyway. And this is Kherson. No, this is Zaporozhia, and this is Kherson. Now, to put the right title on them again, this is Crimea here. Okay. Zaporozhye is just on top of the Crimea, north of the Crimea. Zaporozhye, that's Zaporozhye, right? The next thing is the Donbas area is a big area here. Donbas is a big area, and Luhansk is up here. It looks to be a neighbouring one. It is a neighbouring one, Luhansk. So Luhansk and the Donbas is here. So what Putin has taken over is the Donbas and the Luhansk and the Crimea, right? Up here then is Kharkiv. Kharkiv, I didn't write it all in because it's clutter. Kharkiv is also in trouble. So Sumy is a town in, I think that's in Luhansk, and Donetsk is in the Donbas area. So now you have a rough idea of this in a very difficult situation. I'm sure you will agree. The blue is the sea. So let's look again. The Black Sea, the Sea of Azov, the Odessa down here on the Black Sea, Kiev up here, Lviv here. The Dnieper River, vital to understand. This map will get that over. The Dnieper River is very, very important. It rises in Belarus, or it flows in from Belarus and goes into the Black Sea. Okay, then you go around here at Belarus and you have Russia all down along here. This was all Ukraine prior to 2014. Putin annexed this here then. He took it over here. And Sebastopol was a port going back a long, long time, a maritime port and a military port for Russia to get to, they could sail around from here and have a port here. This is the Kursk Bridge, and Kursk is a town here, and this was built by Putin when he took over when he took over the Crimea, and this is about 11 miles long, I understand, a big long bridge. It was attacked. This is the Sea of Azov, not to be confused with the Black Sea, and the thing is, the big danger with me making this is, you get the British and the Americans, they wouldn't know what these are. You know, the British Foreign Office, they'll be looking at my videos. Oh, what's that hit? Oh, farmwood cows. Oh, so now you have that, and then you have the Donbas and the Luhansk area here. The fear of the NATO is that Russia will go on the whole way to the Dnieper River. And also talk now, and Colonel McGregor and Scott Ritter just hint at the thing, they don't say for sure, that Odessa could be taken. If Odessa is taken, that cuts off the Ukraine's access to the Black Sea. You with me now? If they took this area here, so if they took this, that would leave Kiev a rump state, a landlocked state. Have I explained that fairly good? 13 minutes. I didn't do too bad. It's very difficult to do it. I'm sure you agree on a piece of paper that size. I drew the Crimea bad. The Crimea should be more. Crimea should be more this way. You know, should be more coming in this way. It's a bit like the Malin Peninsula in Donegal, Inishowen, upside down. You know, it's a V up this way. It should be narrower here. But it's not too bad. It gives you a rough idea of what's going on. Maybe I'll do a map another time and show you this area of it here, because this isn't that very important. So you can see now that Germany is not a neighbouring state. Germany is not a neighbouring state. Poland is, Slovakia is, Hungary is, Romania is, Moldova is a little enclave there. I think it applied to join the EU, I'm not so sure. And you can see this area here doesn't appear to be much population in this area, down along the Black Sea. But if Russia takes Odessa, they'd probably take this here all. Now, if there was any wee bit down here, they'd have access this way. But there's no ports here, so they'll have to build ports here. Kherson at the top, Zaporozhye, these are oblasts or provinces. Donbas, with the capital Donetsk, I think. Kharkiv here, Luhansk, and Luhansk and Kharkiv up here. Have you that now? Is that reasonably okay? It's the best I can do. I think you could call all of this here all of this area here, the Donbas. This could be, you could call this the Donbas. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw a line down here. I draw a line down here, and we'll just show you that the Donbas is sort of like this. You get that now? Donbas is sort of there, with Luhansk there. And then Zaporozhia, is that Zaporozhia? Yeah, Zaporozhia sort of here at the top. So you can see that if Russia got this and moved in here, they could, well, you'd imagine they could cross the Dnieper. And that will be a big thing to look for. The Dnieper River, if it's crossed, sorry, I'll take off that cap, if it's crossed, so you could get this situation. And that'd leave Kiev a rump state. So folks, not the best architecturally, drawing-wise or anything else, but on 15 minutes I was asked to relieve the world of the ignorance of this. Only about 1 in every 700,000 Americans would even know the shape of that country if they saw it. Not too many in Ireland or Britain either, yet they're stuck in it. And down here, if you take this sea, this is the Black Sea, this goes down and borders Turkey down here. And Turkey has a little river. Isn't it amazing that there's a little river down? And Turkey, the Dardanelles is down where giving access to the Aegean Sea in the just underneath the side of Greece. And so the ships here can go through Turkey and down to Suvla Bay, where the battle was fought in 1915. You know, in 1915, me country said, son. Australians went over to fight in that kip, and the Turks, they were ready to prime themselves well. There was a British general called Stopford, and he was a complete disaster, a complete idiot. He was removed from his post, a complete idiot, and the whole legs and arms was gone of the Irish and the Brits and everything else. And because he was such an idiot, they had to replace him by somebody else. I think they lost that war. You can post underneath. So that gets out to the Mediterranean, and that's how the Russian ships are getting out here and down into the Mediterranean. And then once you get out into the Mediterranean, it's only a hen's race out through the Straits of Gibraltar or out through the Suez Canal. Well, how many marks do I get? Have I done a reasonably good job? Yeah, the Dnieper River, Black Sea, blue, Belarus, Russia proper, Moldova, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, Western Ukraine, Lviv, Kiev, the capital. That was founded by a lad from a Viking. He was in Norway, a Norseman. He brought the boats across the mountains and set up Kiev. And he introduced the Orthodox religion to this whole area because he brought in the Muslims and they wouldn't let him drink porter or whiskey or beer. And they wouldn't let him eat bacon. He said, gather yourselves and your apple cart the hell out of here. Oh, well, it's a good religion. Go on, get out. Ran them out. The next thing in come the Pope's people, the Catholics. And I think they told him, now I'm a wee bit shady on this, I think they told him he'd have to be very religious, which he wasn't. Anyway, but they also said that at that time the Pope was taking charge of the world. The Pope ran Italy, and the Pope had a big say in what happened. He was a power unto himself. So when he heard he had to bear some kind of allegiance to the Pope and pay money, he ran the Catholics as well. And the Orthodox came in and they told him how their religion and their Christianity and all, and how they wore beards and all that. And that'll do. On you go ahead. And they set up the Eastern Orthodox Church, which is the church in Russia, which is a Christian church. They worship Jesus Christ the same as the Catholics do. And I was told at school, if you're over here some Sunday and you can't get to Mass, you can go to Mass in a Russian Orthodox church. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's right. And receive the sacraments in it the same as, provided there's no Catholic church. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. So now, folks, that's it. That's less than 20 minutes. Has that improved? The Ukraine It's not unlike the shape of County Offaly, but it's not a great example. It's not like anywhere in Ireland. Maybe County Offaly a bit. Uh, it's shaped a bit like Australia, a wee bit like Australia continent. Western, Kiev, the Dnieper River, that's all is mentioned. That's a key land, big river, and there's big lakes on it. Big lakes on it in parts of it, like big lakes like that. And so then it goes into the Black Sea between Crimea and Odessa here. It goes in here. And then the Crimea Peninsula is down here, badly drawn. It's more of a V like this. And Sebastopol is a Russian port here. It's rented. It's not owned by them, but it's rented on a long-term thing. And never any problems. And well, they wouldn't take it off him when Stalin was there, because he took a lot of the food out of Ukraine and created a lot of bitterness. And then some of the Russians were left. And these crowd here hates these crowd here. And they killed at least 18,000 of them. So that wasn't a very wise thing to do. You have the basic areas. You know about the Sea of Azov. I bet you never heard of that before. ASOV, the Sea of Azov, which flows into the Black Sea underneath the Kerch Bridge between the Crimea and Russia proper. And this is Russia proper. And this is roughly the Odessa, the Zaporozhye region, the Donbas region, and the Luhansk region here. You could probably divide the Luhansk and this here. I'd say you could probably do this here, and this is Luhansk, and this is Donbas, and this is Kharkiv area there. Roughly, that's the way it is. It's about 10 times the size of Ireland. We'll see you back soon. If you think I've done a good job, you can mark me out of 10, or you can tell me I'm an awful idiot and I'm wrong, and I will not delete anything unless it's outrageous altogether. Don't insult my cows now, or my cat either, but the rest of it is the best I can do. If you want me to do a wee bit more then of the various areas and cut out a lot of this and then just show you the crucial areas of the war, sure, I might give it a go when I get time. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Good luck. Bye bye.